Hello everyone, this is Andrew here. Happy New Year 2023. Hey, did you know that we have our YouTube exclusive member? All you need to do is click join here and support our work here on our YouTube channel. Well, just to give you an idea what you can learn and get exclusive contents, take a look at this. This is by far the most frequently asked questions. Why do I get ugly shadows on the wall? So let's get started. To get shadows on the wall, we would need three things. Firstly, a beautiful model. Everyone meet Vanessa. She's the model for today's tutorial. And second thing that we will need, a wall that's behind Vanessa. And thirdly, we would need to add, Latte, you're in the way, a light source. Light creates shadows. You need light to have shadow. So if you don't have light, you don't get shadow. And that's one of the first things that you got to learn. That the brighter the light, the darker the shadow is. So I'm going to position the light with a hot shoe flash with a radio trigger connected to a PC port. I'm going to set the power of 1/4 on the hot shoe flash. And the zoom is 28 because I want the light to be wider. The wider the illumination pattern, the shadow is going to be wider too. So Vanessa, what I want you to do is go as near as you can to the wall, nearer, and give us a pose. Okay, so as you can see, I have a habit of which I strongly encourage you to do the same, is to have the light go down. Why? The reason is that we are so accustomed to having lights from the sun going down. So you see shadows go down. Don't have down light, they look scary. The hot shoe flash with one light about 2 meters away from Vanessa. The power is 1/4. All I need to do is come to my camera here, ISO of 100, f10, and shutter speed 80. How do I derive this figure? I don't. I just pluck it out of the air, just come up with one figure that I think may work, and then just check the exposure from there. Why do I choose f10? That's simply because the flash is high power. 1/4 power on a bare hot shoe flash is going to be strong power. So I'm going to focus on Vanessa's eye and recompose, take that shot. Wow, take a look at this photo. This is exactly how we get shadows on the wall. That's because you have Vanessa standing very near the wall. So if you don't want to have shadows on the wall, just don't have a wall or don't stand near a wall. But what happens if you don't have enough of space? So I understand the problem that you have is because your studio is not big enough. Let's solve this one at a time. And if you really look at the shadow that we have on the wall, it's very defined. Defined means that you have shadow and boom, you have no shadow. That's called a hard edge shadow or defined shadow. So that can make things worse. That is simply because that the flash that we have here is a bare flash. Bare flash is a small flash. That's how small the flash lamp is. So that's why we need to make the light bigger. When you make the light bigger, famous 5 number 2 says that when you make the light bigger, the light becomes softer. When a light is softer, it is just lower in intensity, but that's not the biggest aim. The aim is that you want to have the shadow edge to be progressive. And to do that, I'm going to add on an umbrella. That will not eliminate shadow, but that will progressively slow down the shadow that you do not see the edge that much. That's kind of like you're late going home and you're drunk and it's 2 a.m. You're still late, you're still drunk. Your wife will still know. But you can progressively creep into the bedroom. She may be asleep and you may get away with it. That's what a big light does. So a shadow will go slower. So you notice one thing. It's important that you do not stick your flash in too much. When you do that, the light source becomes smaller again. So an umbrella is supposed to be mounted this way. Here's the rule of thumb. 1 finger's length. That's how much you should have. I kill myself, Vanessa, when I see photographers do this. How much, what do they want to do with this? Poke out somebody's eyes and then they go like, Vanessa, that's a nice pose. This is, should an accident happen, waiting to happen. So this is what you do. That's how much you're supposed to have. And then, whenever I put an umbrella to this, viewers, subscribers, listen carefully, you will lose 2 stops most of the time. So I either come up here and add 2 stops. That means my camera doesn't need to do anything. The ISO is still 100, f10 at the shutter speed of 60. Shutter speed doesn't matter much, it's the f number. So I'm gonna come here and add this to 1/1. 2 stop 1/4, 1 stop up is 1/2, 1 stop up is 1/1. So that's it. I'm gonna put it exactly about same distance like just now. So Vanessa, we're gonna do the same exact pose this time and see how different the shadow is. So the flash power has been brought up to a full power, compensating for the 2 stop loss. I don't need to do anything with my camera setting. And that's a beautiful same pose, Vanessa. We want to be able to compare the shadow and boom. So if you look at the shadow that we have on the wall, the shadow is still there. But compare between the shadow that's produced by the umbrella compared to the bare flash. We have reduced the intensity so much. Remember, when you make the light bigger, the light becomes softer, the shadow becomes more progressive. Not only that, you will notice one apparent improvement is that the shadow is not so dark anymore. Why? What happens? When you put a bigger light, the light becomes a little bit softer. I have more stuff for you to learn here since you're my YouTube exclusive members. This is what we're going to do. I know we're going to take this even further. Vanessa, we're going to have you really near the wall. Flush to the wall. There is no way we are not going to get shadow now, but I'm going to show you how you can reduce it to almost 0. Alright, but to do that, we're going to have a baseline shot. A baseline shot is good. If you're new in photography, you always take one shot that sucks. And then, 20 years later, when you look at this shot, you know how well you have progressed. Unless you're worse. You get worse, then I can't help you. That means this channel is not working. But still subscribe anyway. That's because you didn't finish the video maybe. So whatever that you're going to be doing is that take one shot. That's the baseline shot. And then improve on the light. You can see how much of progress you have done in that one shot. So you can be immediately seeing what you have done to the light. And at the same time, 20 years later, look back at your old photos and go like, oh my God, look at my old shots. That was horrendous. And then look at my shots now. Much better. So Vanessa, we're going to have this here, and this time we're going to have the light a little bit higher. A little bit higher, pointed down. So that's the point of having a swivel. I'm going to swivel this down. See how this is? And here's the tip about swiveling your umbrella. Put this in between the 2 spokes. Don't have it hanging like that. So there you go. So you can swivel down a little bit more. The idea of having the light going down is that shadow will then go down. So we're going to have this up. Okay. And higher up. Alright, so yeah, you can do that pose. The lighting is still the same distance, the power is still the same, which means that the camera f value and ISO is the same. So look here and bigger smile and focus and boom. Now let's take a look at this shot. As you can see, the shadow that's behind her is thinner and it's also going down, which is an improvement now. And finally, the last lesson that you can bring home with this video. How do I have the model that's completely flush to the wall and have as minimal shadow as I can? That's really asking for trouble. But I'll show you how you do this. You need 2 things. Number 1, to bring this flash closer to your subject and even higher up. So we're going to raise the height to as high as we can. A second flash that is pointed directly opposite of the main light at the top. And this flash here is supposed to be half of the power of the main light, which means that if you use 1/1 on the light at the top, this is supposed to be half power. If you use half power at the top, this is supposed to be a quarter. Why? Simple. You do not want to have a downlight. You know what happens when you have a downlight? You're going to look like horror movie. So we have a 2 light setup now, settings all still the same. Focus. Boom. Perfect. Almost down to no shadow. And even though you see a little bit of shadow on the shoulder, that's because it's really touching the wall and because Vanessa does have a shoulder. Right, Vanessa, look happy a bit. This is our paid subscriber. I'm like, throw money at Vanessa. Okay, now she's happy. Okay, are we rolling?
Yeah.
Why are you rolling? So our beloved YouTube exclusive members, that's how you get rid of ugly shadow on an ugly wall with a beautiful model. Simple. The technique that you learn and the last tip, that's called clamshell lighting. You have the light so high up and then you feel it down at the bottom to get rid of the shadow on the wall. So I thank you for your subscription to the membership. Stay tuned as we bring you more lessons with the lovely Vanessa. And there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. That was taken directly from our YouTube exclusive members. You're gonna get exclusive videos, tutorials, behind the scenes, chats and banters with producers and models. So hurry, head on to our YouTube exclusive member and click this join button here and support our work. We need your help and your support. See you. Shadow completely gone.
Huh? Still got shadow.
That's your shadow. Come back. You always need a better comeback.
I thought you were writing the script for me.
No, I'm not writing shit for you. I've always wanted to ask you this. What does the tattoo say?
No shadow on the wall.
Smart ass.